What's good? What's goody? What's goody? Happy New Year. Welcome to Conspiracy Theory Thursday. I'm here with my boy Moves. I'm here with Doc. We'll be right back in a few. Y'all give us a few ticks.
Talks like his shit don't stink, but he's cool with people. I knew he's fine. Just Uncle Jackie better. Jackie was alright. Uncle Jackie was excellent. Fucking guineas. Uncle Jackie. Uncle Jack. Line, everybody get the line. Listen the fuck up. It's going down. Pay attention. Alright? Bitches a little bit, bitches a little bit, the box a little bit, the heart a little bit, bitches a little bit, bitches a little bit, fuck you all, I'm the motherfucking general, bitches a little bit, bitches a little bit, the box a little bit, the heart a little bit, it's a little bit, it's a little bit, fuck who you are. When I walk through, the room stops, silence, remain quiet, babies don't cry, thug. Yo, I think it's time we take a fucking time out to hear what Harlem got to say. What, niggas? Harlem on the vibes. You don't want no problem with it, guys.
Middle of the game, I'm standing out in the crowd. Also up, gotta stack that case out my back. Got the beats banging, speakers bumping loud. I'm the king of the game, I'm standing out in the crowd. I'm so hard, gotta stack that cash. Yellow tape wrapped around, I'm making a splash. My flow so hot, it's burning up the scene. When I step into the room, you know what I mean. Yellow tape, yellow tape, yellow tape, yellow tape. We on fire, we the ones in charge. Ain't none time. Turn it up, let the beat drop low. Yellow tape everywhere, it's our time to show.
Salute, Grace, Mr. Goodbread. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Practice. I can show you practice. I can show you how to put $1 million in a mattress. I can show the difference between an icon and a classic. Baby in the major should be rolling in a basket. I'm advanced, and it's a lot of dance. From anywhere, my jewelry jump like John Moran. And Kif Tower shorts got me tanning with the babes. You would be a surfer if you ever had this wave. I just switch up my cabana, they throw shade. Matter top 5 and top wives, know I'm the fade. And throw them out the loop, I be mute, playing cute, nothing to say to you. Cause when I'm back home, I'm like Kyrie, I won't play with you. This is magic with the fur. Tim Duncan on the spur. Tanya Harton on the skate. This that Kobe number 8. This the kick over the head in the hand of Sue Bird. This boy's superb. All I got is 2 words.
Uncle Jackie. Conspiracy Theory. What's goody, y'all? What's goody? Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Uncle Jackie Conspiracy Theory. First off, we're going to salute Mr. Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter, former president, however you want to do. He passed away at like 1,000 years old. He was fighting illness for like 200 years. And he finally succumbed to it. So shout out to Jimmy Carter, man. Salute.
Shout out. Yeah. Rest in peace, Jimmy.
Yeah, rest, sir. Rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. I sipped something for you. All right. Now, let me see what we got. What we got going? Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I got this shit written down. Welcome to another Conspiracy Theory Thursday. Uncle Jackie, I'm here with Doc. I'm here with Moves. All right, I'm just gonna follow suit. But I got Jimmy Carter out the way. I want to speak real quick on it's something that we've been talking about for weeks now, fellas. My guy, Luigi Mangione. Now, I'm not speaking on your opinions in terms of if he's a hero or if he's a terror. We already been through this. I'm speaking on the reception that he's receiving. Now, why do you think that is? I can ask that question. I'll answer the first anyway. But
Yeah.
he's looking like he's a I guess a savior of sorts. If he goes down, he's a martyr. That's what it's looking like. Because of course, over here we don't condone any form of fashion of vigilanteism or whatever you call it. But he's sitting pretty. Luigi Mangione is sitting real pretty right now.
Well, it's what his actions kind of stood for. I mean,
No,
should
not
there
how we
be?
feel, moves. Not about how we feel. Just how you
No,
think
but
the people are feeling.
well, what I'm thinking is that it's it seems like it's a psyop in the first place because it it brings attention to something that attention was already being brought to. So why the public display is what I'm asking. Like why was that particularly necessary? Now, is it effective at bringing a lot? Because I saw a lot of postings of people posting up their own, their personal testimonies of like being in shitty situations from the health insurance companies, and they got the most horrific stories. I mean, um so yeah, you know what, I agree to attention being brought to it, but I like, should it cost that dude's his life? You know what, I think honestly Luigi could have had the same effect if he hit him with a bunch of paintballs. That like people would have, it still would have brought attention. The guy wouldn't have to lose his life, and I don't know, he would have suffered a bunch of fucking bruising all over the fucking place. Leaked pictures of that kind of embarrassing shit could have come out, but instead, like this guy ended up dead. So what could this guy have testified to? Like we already know that when it comes to the higher ups, this guy, yeah, he was the CEO, but he was like small. He was a small fry in comparison to like the board and that kind of shit. So like there was almost a necessity for in order for the company to do whatever, continue to do whatever it does without attention. This guy needs to go. And so I think there's a whole host of things that the health insurance company is involved in, but it just hasn't reared its ugly face. I agree with the attention being brought to it, but like if these insurance companies are behind some of the craziest shit that a lot of these other people are being accused of, and the other folks are alleging that government is involved with, especially with like organs and all kinds of crazy shit. So that's where I'm like, maybe this just is the tip of the iceberg. Maybe people getting fucked over on insurance is just the tip of the iceberg. It's, you've got this huge company that's got a lot of fingers and a lot of pies, so like is the illegal organ trade involved in it? Is is the trafficking of human organs involved or something, to some level or degree? Because when people are denied their proper care, what happens to them? They die, and so what happens to them afterwards, only Lord knows. When I signed off on the cremation of my mom, they handed me a bunch of ashes, and like, dude, I don't have a DNA kit at home. I'm not gonna take a sample of the ashes, look them under a microscope and shit. they could have handed me a pile of ashes, and she just kept the organs and kept my mom. For all I know.
Right. You
Yeah.
can't tell what's in there anyway.
So yeah, it brings up but at the same time, he could have brought the same kind of attention with a paintball gun. So yeah, like an anti-hero of sorts. So but at the same time, it's like, fuck, man. I don't know, man. It could go either way. Where this, he's he actually is independent of any kind of personal interest or some broad interest group that wants to bring this attention. I don't think so. I think these competing insurance companies, they're it's a dog eat dog world, when it comes down to it. You're seeing it firsthand, with all this mishandling of all the accounts of people that are putting millions, if not billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars into the pockets of these people. So like when it comes to different insurance companies, I'm wondering if it is as dog eat dog as it was when I was in sales, and all I was doing is selling computer training. But these guys, who knows what they're fucking selling is what. So anyway, yeah, that's I could talk forever on that shit, man. Honestly, like the conspiracy of that has grown so much it's not even funny. But on the outcome, we'll say.
I appreciate you. I want to catch Doc before he passes out. So, what do you think? What are you thinking, Doc? Is he a hero to the people, or
I mean, you gotta look at it for what it is, and not for what it. You gotta look for it for what happened, and not what it is. And I mean, when these people do crimes, and we got some people like some serial killers. I'm going down to May of '77 when out here and out there in New York when we had the what's his guy name?
David Berkowitz.
David Berkowitz killing.
Yeah.
And he got
no, that's the son of Sam, right? No.
Yeah. He actually had two nicknames. One was the 44 killer, and he was also the son of Sam. He actually signed his letters the son of Sam.
So I mean, when he get locked up, maybe he ain't have a parade outside, you know what I mean? But you do have a following after you do such things. You do have people that eyes is open to what you did, and not just so much of what you did, but just the irony of it. You understand the boldness of it. And you're going to get a whole bunch of females that want to marry you. You're going to get proposals. You know what I mean? And
hey, yo, bro, real quick. I apologize, but I just have to say it. Bro, he got Puffy Lawyer, I believe. Luigi Mangione. He got his lawyer's paid for. He got a high price lawyer, bro.
That's
like this is beyond anything. I mean, I remember Son of Sam. For not. I don't think I was old enough to, know who that was, but I know of him. And I don't think he got I don't think he got Puffy's lawyer. Now, my apologies, Doc. Go ahead, continue.
He also not a Princeton or Ivy League graduate either. You know what I mean? And this guy, he's connected and not connected as far up in the food chain, but he got some money. His family is not stupid. You know what I mean? Like he comes from something. He come from a different cloth than what a struggling person will have to go through. You understand? Or an ordinary person. You know what I mean? And maybe he is an ordinary person and where he grew up at, like such as PA. You know what I mean? PA, everybody usually go to Ivy League school. That's usually like your zone school that you will go to. You know what I mean? So
it don't work like that, bro.
I mean, it don't work like that, but people tend to go that way because you tend to be smart enough.
No, listen what I'm saying. He went to Penn, not Penn State where Saquon Barkley went. He went to Penn, which is the Harvard Yale of Pennsylvania. Like that's one of them. You don't just go to Ivy League schools because that's what's close. You go to Ivy League schools because you got money or you got the grades to go there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be acceptance is gonna be on two reasons and two reasons alone. if you pay or if you got grades. Period. That's that. Yeah, you're right. It's all money there, bro.
But I'm trying to say, like, only way you go into that school if you come from that type of cloth. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also saying that you grow up in that zone or in that umbrella because of who you growing up around. You're not growing up around the Hicks. You understand? You're not growing up around in the back of the woods. You know what I mean? You going to the shores on your vacation. You know what I mean? You going away, like everything is it's given to you in a sense, and that's how it is. I guess where he came from. You know what I mean? His upbringing.
Nah, but yeah, like what I meant was like the fan paid for his lawyers, bro. Not him. The people paid for his lawyers, bro. And they got him
Oh,
the best. They got him Puffy's lawyer. If I'm not mistaken, they got him Puff's lawyer, bro.
yeah, but it only would take a select, like take for instance, if you got like 10,000, 20,000 people motivated to pitch in $2. Okay, so 20,000 times two, that's $40,000 right there, and that's just 20,000 people. To strike 1 million people, and we're a nation of what, like a little over 350 million. And that's not hard at all. So 1 million times two, you're looking at 2 million right off the bat. So like
So that's the point, though.
to find the best lawyer, it wouldn't take the majority. So when we say the people hired him a lawyer, I didn't pitch in. So yeah, he doesn't look the part. Yeah, exactly. Like if there were any kind of like oh yeah, I'm reading that's also why he appeals to people. He doesn't look the part, but I think it's his frustrations with his back pain and not getting relief was the catalyst. And that's the thing, man. Like he could have brought just as much attention to himself and that whole situation.
That's the one thing you keep saying,
with
and
a
I
paintball
fucking
gun.
agree with you.
I
agree
he could
with
have
that
done the
shit
same thing with a
wholeheartedly.
paintball gun. He could have done the same thing with a fire axe or a fucking a fire
A
extinguisher.
non-lethal weapon.
Yeah, pick a non-lethal weapon. They maybe beat him or he pelted him with silly string. There's and that's how people react too. They see the CEO get pelted with silly string. So what was the thing behind it? Well, the cops caught the guy, and he said on video while he was in his oranges there. And notice the cops don't let this guy make any kind of statements, at least as far as like I've seen so far. During his arrest, he attempted to like say something to the press, and the cops kept on shoving him.
Remember, they charging him as a terrorist. You don't want a terrorist to get his message out at all, or an alleged, excuse me, an
Exactly.
alleged terrorist.
Well, and it's funny because, like, here we jump to a conclusion that it might be terrorism, corporate terrorism of some sort, and then all of a sudden, this guy drives his truck through the French border, and they're hiding the black flag, they're hiding the identity of the guy at first, and then we find out that he's one of those guys that came across.
Muslim.
Exactly. So like they go from one extreme to the next, like where they'll call an act of that they'll call this act of this white kid that was born here an act of terrorism, but the guy
both of them are acts of terrorism.
Hold on. They'll call that an act of terrorism, and then a guy who creeps across the border illegally from one of these Middle Eastern countries, flying one of these black flags that you see in these Middle Eastern countries that we sent our armies and our military to, and he decides to floor it through the French quarter, and they're absolutely refusing. They're absolutely refusing to call it anything. They'll call it anything but terrorism.
But he was born in Texas, I believe. He wasn't from. He's a man born in Texas.
Not the guy that was not the guy who set his Tesla on fire. The guy who drove through the fucking the French Quarter in Louisiana.
Louisiana.
But is
Wait,
it
are we getting am I getting facts mixed up? I mean, I could like
Well,
I don't know. You might be talking about something totally different from what I'm talking about.
I thought the one with the Cybertruck too. I thought he was an ex ex army
yeah. He was ex-military.
So I mean, he couldn't have been an illegal citizen or anywhere anything of that nature.
Mm.
Wait. And then again, it's still like fresh, man. Fucking, it's only been one day, and then
Are we talking about the event where dude ran over people and was ready to
No,
he killed them too?
That's who I was talking about. That the guy who drove through the French Quarter in New Orleans and
yeah.
He was an American citizen, I think.
Yeah, he was an American. He was born in Texas, brother. Yeah, moves. He was born in Texas. He wasn't born anywhere else.
Okay, cool. Color me corrected. Yeah,
he was born in Texas.
Admonish me.
They're calling him an act of terrorism because he's Muslim, though. He is Muslim, and they like it's like he's a member of, as if he were one of those terrorism groups or terrorist groups. Excuse me, one of those terrorist groups. They're assuming he's a part of.
They got
he did pass on. They eliminated him or deleted him. They deleted him in the shootout, and but yeah, that one was what surprised me, moves, because I would have thought the same thing. But you know, when I was looking over it, he was born in Texas, and his family's coming from Texas. They're going to New Orleans as we speak, possibly, and they're going to speak with people because, you know, as they say with everyone, this came out of nowhere.
I mean,
dude,
they didn't really say that. I mean, I don't know what they said, but I know that he was going through a divorce or.
There you go.
He went through a divorce, and his plan was to kill his family at first.
Delete
his family at first, but then he just he decided that what he was trying to put forth, his message, that it wouldn't have got across if he deleted his family. So he went out there and deleted other people.
Yeah,
so one thing I want to say about this. This is one thing I want to say about this ISIS thing, and I swear, any other terroristic thing that came out after 9/11, and the 9/11 commission and everything they put into place. You could go to the dark web, which I've never been, but you could go to the dark web and have a discussion, a forum with a whole bunch of people that have the same ideas as you, right? Whether it be good or bad. Now, a lot of these people that have the same thoughts and the same, empathy as you, or the same energy as you, won't react past them talking about it. You know what I mean? And they know the consequences. They know X, Y, and Z, what could come happen if you go past, the initial talks. But now you have the feds and you have CIA, you have all types of other alphabets coming inside these chat rooms and trying to infiltrate what's being said and what's being, log in and do their homework, what they have to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, but now you have also them want to take it a further step. Let's see who will take it to the next step. So now we're going to offer them that we could get guns, or we could get arms, or we could get explosive equipment. You know what I mean? We got the plan. But now it comes down to you agreeing with that informant or agreeing with that agent. Oh yeah, I want to take it to the next step. But now they egging you on, but you wouldn't think past what you're thinking about. You know what I mean? You won't think past whatever your thoughts was, because you got a family, you got everything else that you living in. But now someone put forth like, yo, here, I got $1,000 that I could put forth to your mission or to your thoughts, and I could give you the ammunition that you need. Are you down with it? You know what I mean? So now the person that's talking about it go and go meet up with the informant or the agent, and then now it's all type of entrapment, and now all type of you getting arrested for being a terrorist now. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
hey, Doc, they did the same thing with Gretchen Whitmer. She's the governor of Michigan, and it's a real awful lady, by the way. And I'm using lady very loosely as terms
No,
go. But
because it's
anyway,
YouTube. You got to. You got to say.
yeah. Well, the thing is she was like Cuomo. She put a lot of COVID patients in old folks' homes, and she is responsible for like thousands of fucking deaths. She is like a harridan. I've got nothing good to say about her in any way, shape, or form. But what you just described, Doc, was the attempted um, oh gosh, the attempted kidnapping of Gretchen Whitmer, and it was a group of about 12 or 14 guys, and a dozen of these guys were FBI. Now, when I say FBI, I don't mean like they had paychecks, from the FBI, but they got paid through like third parties and fourth parties
Mm-hmm.
and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. And they were given all the necessary funding, all the necessary materials to get these guys involved. And it was weird because it started off as a group of like, I think it was like 16, 18. I'm paraphrasing here, but anyways, as the plan seemed to make less and less sense, more and more of these civilians that were kind of drawn into this kind of started dropping out. And I guess before the last two dropped out, they finally sprung it. We've been investigating. We found these
Mm-hmm.
guys that were going to attempt to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer and hold her hostage in the whole 9 yards. And we've got the plans, we got the this, and we got
Yeah.
that. And it is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. What they wanted to do is flip the script on the whole Gretchen Whitmer appearance. There's a whole lot worse than what Gretchen Whitmer did to the great state of Michigan that I can go into because I'm not really prepared. But that's exactly the MO of fucking FBI or any kind of abbreviated fucking agencies that have been in power for the past like 20, 30 years. And that's exactly who's been in
And I
power.
think no, and I think it's more than 30, 40 years. I think it goes back to, when these agencies was made, that they was made
You know
for
what?
reasons
You're right. You're
to
absolutely right.
be
You know
out
what?
there.
It's the past 30 or 40 years that have been exposed and brought to light.
I mean, because what it is, more information. We got access to more information now. You know what I mean?
And quicker.
And more information that we get, the more we know. Excuse me.
While Doc goes to the Doc on that.
So the more we know. So with that being said, the more we know, then the more platforms like this we can spread it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
we still have documents that is still blocked from the public, or if it comes out to the public, it's all blacked out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's still things that the American government hides from its people, and what we don't have in check is that we are the people, we are the government. You know what I mean?
So okay, if that's the case, if we are the people, we are the government. You have Kash Patel that has been nominated to handle all of our intelligence information. Right, this guy worked for the CIA, the NSA, but I'm not sure where he worked. He just worked in intelligence for like years, and this guy doesn't forget a fucking thing. He's awesome. Now, what he seems to be promising is exposure and transparency through these classified documents that have been requested for clarity for the past like anywhere between 50 and 60, 70 years. And it probably even goes back further than that. And he's assured us like the unredacted, and that's exactly what it's called. When a file comes out and it's been blacked out, details involving people who still may be living or truths that may harm or jeopardize national security, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Excuse me. He's going to come out with the JFK files, all the redacted JFK files. He's going to come out with all of the redacted January 6th files, the redacted names that were in the part of that the Russiagate bullshit conspiracy. There is a lot of exposure that they promised. So I did sidetrack, because he did promise exposure and transparency to a lot of things, but at the same time, that's where we come in. We start paying attention to what he has given us and what he hasn't given us, what he's promised while giving these, all of these interviews and getting all this exposure and saying, hey, I'm going to help make America great again by providing a whole lot of transparency to these 3-letter agencies that have been under the radar for far too long. They've been caught left and right-handed, both are with both hands red-handed, and so many conspiracies it's not even funny. They bought and sold us like we're a tax chattel. And so when it comes down to it, when this I may be a Trumpster, okay, but when it comes down to this administration, the reason why I voted is for these particular changes. They said straight up that I'm going as an American, and so is the rest of the United States, going to get answers that that we've been asking for. These have been part of our coffee table conversations and dinner table conversations for decades and decades.
But can I just say this? Can I just say
please.
He goes in there and tries to do that, and then the government be like, yo, it's against our national security. It's no good. What's going to change all the yellow tape that been put up? What's going to change now from him saying that he's going to do that? How many other people wanted to do that? But
administrative orders. Yeah, executive orders from the president demanding that. You got the FOIA. What is it? Yeah. You've got FOIA requests. You got all kinds of shit, man. And yeah. There you go. Anyways, I got distracted.
I just think that yeah, he's saying all of this. Some stuff may come out too that he may come out with, but everything about that JFK is not going to come out. Everything on that January 6th may come out. You know what I mean? But it's going to be certain things that they pick and choose, or they're going to come out and they're going to allow out. You know what I mean? You got to understand the president is the president. Yes, you could put forth all types of things. You could say that, but you still have to go through proper channels. Now, Trump is not that dude to go through proper channels. You know what I mean? But now, is he putting his life in danger because you don't go through the proper channels and you're not going with the right wing, or not with the right wing, or with the deep state? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to question that too. Like, how far is he gonna go? Because at the end of the day, he already got attempted. His life got attempted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's a simple fact. It's a simple fact that the time he invested after the attempted assassination, at that point, it's a reality. It's a reality break. You really. You either take a step back and doubt yourself and doubt the reason why you got into all of this, why you set aside billions of dollars, literally like billions of dollars it cost him to be president in the first place. You're talking about a man that has already eaten the finest food around every place in the world. He's probably tried every cool drug or every natural. No, you know what? He claims that he doesn't, so I really shouldn't spread anything. But like finest food, stayed at the finest places, met the the world leaders and shit like that, because he's had to build hotels in different countries, which gives him an edge. It gives him an edge like there's no tomorrow, because he had to acquaint himself with the local laws of the country, customs of the country, and shit like that. So it's like when he stepped into presidency, he knew he had this competitive edge as it came to campaigning against people. His biggest mistake during his first presidency was the people that he selected. So what do? I mean, like, you start up a company and you start taking in these applications, and you're pulling from from a narrow pool of like a couple of thousand people. So you got to kind of cross your fingers when you read the application, you do the interview with the person, and the person's already seen you saying, MAGA. You're like, if you're Trump and you're interviewing these people, you got to appoint these people. He doesn't, he only has so much time to interact with them before he tells them that, they need to go and do their job. So once they start doing their fucking job shitty, well, that's where he would just callously, say you're fired. He got rid of a lot of people that burned him with bad advice, burned him and did fool him into doing some of the shit that the deep state needed to be done, like the vaccine, like all of that. Like the vaccine, the COVID. That's all a part of the fucking deep state. We have already seen proof that Fauci that Fauci funded through the NIH to the Wuhan laboratories. The money trail is there. The conspiracy is there. And then all of a sudden, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna come out with within 6 months, these safe and effective vaccines. Bullshit. Welcome to Conspiracy Thursday.
All right, hold on. Before y'all go down the Trump rabbit hole any further, we are going back there in this. I just want to keep it at the news for right now. But it's we're gonna get back to Trump. Trust me. That's all. That's on the agenda here. But right now we're gonna move on to that right there. Are you aware of that moves? Marcy, New York. I had never heard of it until this incident.
Marcy inmate that no, man.
Yeah, Marcy, New York, man. They had an inmate there. I'm gonna ask my producer to look that up for me. MARCY, inmate death. But yeah, he was basically beaten to elimination or beaten to deletion by the guards in Marcy Correctional Facility in New York. Like, it's close to, I forgot. It's not New York City. Just know that we all know that it's not to be mistaken with Marcy Projects. No, it's not in Brooklyn.
That's why. That's precisely why I just looked it up. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, it's not in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Yeah, there was a homeless shelter. I stayed out there, and
no, this is Marcy, New York. It's a small town. It's a small town. I think like up near Utica and Troy, and up there in that part of New York. But yeah, they got body cam footage released on Friday, and it showed the correctional officers at Marcy Correctional, and they were punching and kicking, and he was handcuffed, and it was called a brutal, and this is in quotes, brutal beating. Well, I guess that's by the CNN quoted, the person who wrote that article. A brutal beating, and it's under investigation by the Attorney General. Robert Brooks was the man's name. He was pronounced eliminated on December 10th at Wynn Hospital in Utica, exactly what I said. According to Attorney General Letitia James, Brooks, 43, had been serving a 12-year prison sentence since 2017 for first-degree assault, prison's documents show. Yeah, they have the footage and everything. At one point, the officers appeared to shove something in Brooks' mouth before repeatedly hitting him in the face. Another officer then punches Brooks in the groin before he uses a shoe to strike him. And the New York Attorney General's Office of Special Investigations previously announced it had opened an investigation into Brooks' passing. As Attorney General, you have my word that we will use every possible tool available to investigate this passing I'm using the I'm changing the word, passing thoroughly and swiftly. And yeah, that was just it was shocking and disturbing. Definitely was. That was yeah. What do y'all
Out in
think? Y'all
the
think he's
streets,
gonna
they
get
call it murder.
No, I'm trying not to use that word moves. I'm
No,
using
I
the
was
word
singing that song.
passing,
You know that.
eliminating.
No, you know the Jamrock song, dude. I was just singing, But anyway,
I know, and then that might get us. I mean, I'm just extra scary moves. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, I'm
This is
just
not Jack. This is not
well,
Jack. This is not the guy. I'm just extra scary nowadays, bro.
copy that. Copy. I got you. I got you. No
Yeah,
more,
I'm
no more
just
jokes about that. Promise you.
yeah,
But dude, that's horrific, man. That's awful. You know, I, and it's weird because like I stretch my mind to see like how it could fucking bring myself to do that to another human being with like two other dudes or whatever. Or like, that's one of the things. Like I've been jumped a bunch of times, man, and never did I really want to jump somebody back because it was like fucked up.
right,
and
right,
and that's the thing, like I wonder, like I know there are motherfuckers out there that jump folks every fucking day. That's their thing, man.
right.
Unfortunately, we got a
Yeah,
fucking,
it's
you
corny
know,
as hell too.
we do have a fucking crazy society around us, but at the same time, I think of the average Joe or something, man, like where um the first and only time that they ever feel like they can get some sort of vindication or some sort of fucking revenge. I try to picture like what would justify that. Like, how could I lose my passions and do something like that? And I couldn't, man. I mean, like, I'll it's tough enough to sit there and watch a fight, and obviously like there's one less opponent than the other. The other one's just like seriously doing brutal damage, breaking bones, you name it, and at least a pugilistic fight or a boxing fight would get stopped before an MMA fight would
Right,
get stopped before some crazy damage or let alone death would happen. And
right,
even after that fight, like these guys are actually training the whole 9 yards. Here, you're talking about like some average everyday sap that probably like took 2 or 3 times the ass beating a guy would in a fucking ring. That right there is horrific. There is no justifying that. And at the
there
same
is
time,
none,
like,
bro.
could I be like, dude, all right, you got this this cop that shot a judge here in Kentucky. And the reason why this cop shot this judge, I mean, like they both been serving for God knows how long. But the cop had caught the judge text messaging his 14-year-old daughter. And
Oh man, I think I heard of that, bro. I think I
yeah,
did hear of
yeah.
that.
So I'm sitting there like,
Yeah,
let's see here. If I was on the jury, I'll accept it. Don't care if you're white,
right,
black, Chinese, whatever, man. I don't care. You know what, dude? I think I'm gonna hang that jury. It's like that's where I'm like, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, is the ending inhumane? Yeah, it's fucking A, it is. But at the same time, it's like, dude, is there a backstory? Like I said, conspiracy theory Thursday is looking at it from all angles and to a certain level of degree.
right. I
And
do agree
like,
with that.
like I guarantee you that that cop had been to the shooting range or been at plenty of dinners and award ceremonies and shit like that with that judge. They've been the best of buddies and probably beer drinking pals at one point, or had an opportunity, more than one opportunity to sit down with each other because they interact with each other because they both work in two different aspects of the law. So they're like, this cop didn't just like, you know, lose his crime of passion or have this crime of passion. He went against everything that he swore to uphold. He went up against everything that like there's no way he can provide for his family now. There's no way that he's got to go through a trial and investigation and the whole 9 yards. And like I said, I don't think there's going to be many people that are going to hold him guilty for that. But at the same time, you never know, to whatever level or degree. So,
Right.
like, like I keep on saying the Marcy inmate death, and it was inhumane. Yes, hands down. I wouldn't wish that upon any soul upon this earth, and there are souls that go through worse than that. But what I'm saying is that before we jump to any kind of conclusions, you know, let the truth come out. Maybe, you know, I don't know, man.
I mean, but he's handcuffed. I mean, Doc, I'm trying to keep you in tune with you still with this, Doc?
Yeah, I'm
Uh-oh.
here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm here.
Go
What?
ahead,
Well,
bro. How do you feel about that situation, the inmate, the
I
Marcy
mean,
inmate?
I
yeah, we
mean, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the ending of what moves is trying to figure out. But these guys felt comfortable doing that. You know what I mean? There was no two guys. Let me step back. 14 people got is getting charged with some type of having some type of actions within that situation, according to this the district attorney office. But how comfortable was that with the moves that they was making? You know what I mean? Like no one stepped
That
back
was
from it.
it.
Like this
Yeah,
was the Rodney King beating all again, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And it was right there, caught right in front of our eyes, and it's just crazy that it's not more of a um of awareness of it. You know what I mean?
well,
Like
here's another aspect of it too, man. It's like it's filmed in the heart of what they're supposed to call an area of justice, right? You know, they haul you in, they take pictures of you, the whole 9 yards, booking and processing. It's not supposed to include, you know, deleting from the you know the worst ass beating you'll ever get, and
right.
um the weird thing of it is like I looked up Marcy, New York City, and it's a population of like 8,777 people. So it's a
Right.
small,
It's a small
like little
town.
area. You were right. It's like a small town, and if here's the weird thing is like if they wanted to get away with, or I don't know, maybe somebody is just tired of the corruption of that police force, and these guys are getting all thrown under the bus for one reason or another. You know, like it's like maybe it goes beyond, you know, maybe this kid wasn't the only kid to take a fatal ass beating. They got recordings of all kinds of shit, but I'm like alleging. I'm just like, you know, conspiracy or hypothesizing. You know, what could possibly, you
I
know,
hear what you're
why
saying.
these guys would feel so comfortable. I think Doc's onto something. You know, why would they feel so comfortable to do this shit if they hadn't done it before? And if they hadn't done it before and they didn't worry about cameras or anything like that, you know, maybe they
Yeah.
did it so fucking often that, you know what, fuck them cameras, because I know the guy behind the cameras, behind the guy behind the cameras, then behind the guy who's got the cameras. You know, we're all one big happy family. But the thing is like if somebody in there gets disgusted by the corruption and they manage to weasel their way into, and I don't mean to like weasel, if they're smart
That's
enough
no
to
wrong. It's
negotiate a
good.
way of getting in there, then yeah, man, they're trying to stop something that's been ongoing.
What up, Destro?
Destro Red, what's up? Red Destro, that'd be cool, Destro.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
bro. So it just crazy, man. That
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. And I mean, you know, somebody's family is going to be very well off after this situation. I apologize for cutting you off, Doc. Go ahead, bro.
no. I'm just saying that it's just crazy, and like they just felt comfortable doing it. It just like there's so many inmates that go through this shit that is crazy. You know what I mean? That and now it's coming out to light, and investigation need to be open. And like I said, with jail in general, like I don't see how come it never been a big investigation in jail on how people is treated, regardless if you're a criminal or not. Yeah, you're not supposed to be in the 4 seasons and all that, But there's some
You ain't supposed to be in hell neither.
yeah, there's some humane stuff that you have to be. I mean, but like, there's nothing humane about being in jail, bro. Nothing.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's it.
let me
That's
drop
one of the
this. Let me
things,
drop
man.
this bomb real quick. Let me drop this bomb. There are no cameras in certain places on Rikers Island, bro. No cameras, bro. There are places, and because I've been invited, you know how I'm gonna talk to people. I don't care who you are, what kind of badge you got. So I've been invited. It's just the fact that I had a damn cast on, but that's neither here nor there. But I've been invited. Play like, yo, come on, let's go over here. Then you got that big ass mouth. Let's go. Blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there like, so first it was a rumor, bro. But when officers start talking like, they that dude, is like it might be some truth to there not being cameras in certain areas. And I can tell you that, personally, word to my first BMW, there's no cameras in certain places. I'm gonna say that.
Yo, this dude said word to his first BMW. Yo, and he's sick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, and he's
There's
sick.
no cameras in certain places, man. Word to fucking Zaire.
Look, Destro Red, he just said it's only happening now because they forced to have body cams. And that could be true because I never heard they had body cams before. So it was odd.
They had it when I was in there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. I mean, like, if there's any place that you like, hey, don't get me wrong. I am totally against the police state. You don't need to know where I'm driving. You don't need to know where when I go to the supermarket or the toilet or anything like that, man. I'm not
Right.
I'm not into Big Brother watching me. It's none of his fucking business what I do. Okay, but if there is a place on this planet that needs cameras, it's a fucking prison. I want to know, like as somebody on the outside, I want to know what these guys are doing 24/7 because I've seen fucking prison documentaries for the past 40, 50 years. And like the shit that is allowed in prisons or actually the world that prisons are allowed to create is a fucking awful world. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, man. I do not want to go to prison. And
I've never been to prison. I don't want to go to prison. I've never been to prison.
Yeah.
Shout out to my lawyer.
All I had to do is watch. Hey, all I had to do is watch Scared Straight. When I got to see that when I was a kid. I don't know if y'all got to see that Scared Straight, man.
Yeah, of course. Some schools participated in that shit, bro. In New York.
Oh, absolutely, dude. And dude, it scared me straight. It was all I had to do was watch the fucking video. I got caught stealing some candy or some shit like that. And my folks took me straight to the Hooskow, told the cops to put me into the fucking jail cell for like 2 hours, and then let me sweat it out. And I never stole a thing since.
I'm gonna tell you some real shit right now. It was a movie it was a movie starring my brother Doc's doppelganger, Leon Isaac Kennedy. All I had to do was watch Penitentiary, bro. You ain't had to tell me twice about nothing. I used to tell Doc when he was younger, like, yo, that's your brother. Yo, you look just like this nigga, man. Leon Isaac Kennedy, man. Penitentiary. That'll scare any kid straight, bro.
Yeah, but what about American Me? There's another one.
Yeah, American Me.
Yeah, I would never. I don't even watch that a second time.
Yeah.
No, nobody watches it a second time. You don't need to.
I'm good, Joe. I'm good. And it only took one scene. It was a knife somewhere. He hid his knife in the prison pocket. So it's like, oh shit!
That Christmas tree knife.
Oh my goodness, I'm good. I'll be good.
Good off that shit. So, like, yeah, man. I mean, like, definitely Hollywood did that. There was another one called Bad Boys. Holy shit!
Oh, I seen that too. I grew up on that when I was a kid when I saw that.
Yeah, it's starting out white dude. Yeah,
the real bad boys. The real bad boys.
Yeah,
Sean Penn, E.C. Morales. That was the real bad boys, yo. And that shit, I didn't. That was another movie. I mean, I saw it more than once, but I fast forward through parts and that shit.
Mm-hmm. Same, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
but
shit was
I
real
certainly didn't
talk.
fast forward to that part where he goes and grabs that pillowcase and fills up fills that thing up with the fucking soda cans. Oh
Oh
my
no, I don't fast forward that. I
god.
just fast forward the violations of either
Oh
way.
yeah.
'Cause the violations. I'm not for that. But the rest
Yeah.
of the movie, if boy, because that's how it happened when you're grown and when you in jail junior, prison
Okay,
junior.
so like okay, knowing these nightmares that take place, and it'll bring us back to Earth for a second, right? Knowing that these nightmares take place in a jail or in a prison system, shouldn't there should be some sort of change? You know, and you can't do any change unless you know the change is present there. You know, somebody like I said, you know, somebody on the inside let us fucking see what was going on as far as Macy, New York City, or Macy, New York, and that's a good thing. I think it's honestly a good thing that we know about these things, and that way we're kind of prodded or prompted to go and with a fine tooth comb locally where we're at. You know, a lot of focus, and this is one of the good things about this administration. A lot of focus has been put on the communities focusing on their own problems, having their own elections, focusing locally. That way, um, certain laws passed that like the people that the majority of the people that care to live a certain way can be voted, have that way voted in. Like, take for instance, if you have a particular lifestyle that is akin to New York City or California or San Francisco or Oakland, you can go to those states or go to those cities and expect those rights. You know, like um, from abortion to pick a fucking topic, right? You know, because we have states that cater to both the Democratic and the conservative or Republican side. So like that way people can vote locally. Is what I'm saying. It's like the more that we get involved locally as a community, the more we'll know about these little nuances in these corruptions in these small towns. That way we can ask for the help of bigger towns or bigger county help or federal help when we actually need it. You know, like
Think of this, moves
yeah.
real quick. Just think about this. Let's say I'm piggybacking off of what you're saying about investigating the prison system, and if they actually dug through every prison with a
Okay.
fine tooth comb, you know how many Shawshanks we would have, bro? How
Oh
many
yeah.
Shawshanks? You saw Shawshank Redemption.
Oh,
You know how many
absolutely.
Shawshanks we would have,
Yeah.
especially the private ones.
No,
Those
absolutely.
private prisons, bro.
A majority of them is private, so that's the reason why like the investigation never occurred. You know what I mean? Like don't occur, I should say.
Yeah,
Well, I think
because you.
the investigations. I think the investigations have multiplied since Trump has been in office. You know, I think when he has signed the executive order to remove the crime bill, and I think there were like 1,500 prisoners, people of color that got released into the public, and um, it draws attention to the prison system. Why in the world would uh, Trump decide to show an imperfection of the law? You know that those people were like he didn't have to sign the executive order at all. He didn't have to even use it as an idea. He didn't go out there for like months and say, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to sign an executive order that's going to repeal the crime bill and it's going to release so many people. No, you got to know about it the day he did it. He didn't go out there and try to campaign and show off and say, hey, look what I did, you know, hold on yards. It was only after he does these things and going, hey, look what I did, you know. So it's like it's a lot of action and a lot of talk, but the talk comes after action, which is most important, you know. So that like um it's motivated people like Luigi. It's motivated people like and all kinds of different all kinds of facets. You know, people are being bold enough to say and do a lot of things, you know, including set a Tesla truck on fire, which is weird because the two individuals that were a part of both the Las Vegas thing and the French Quarter thing. Both served at Fort Bragg in the Army.
Wow, North Carolina.
Yeah, yeah. They served at Fort Bragg, and which is the same fort or same military base that one of the assassins from Trump had visited over 100 times. He visited Fort Bragg for one reason or another. So like, yeah, I did a little bit of surfing after I got that shit wrong. And yeah, he was, natural born citizen, served in the military. But like, if you're gonna hand pick patsies, you're going to go with paid opposition. Okay, so here are these people they're gonna try and taint the uniform of the military. They're going to try and taint the image of a Donald Trump hotel. They're going to try and use our own people against us, or what appears to be our people against us, and it's not our people. We as conservatives or Republicans see who the turncoats are when they act up like this. So it's like, yeah, these two guys could have been registered Republican for all I care, and they could have voted for Trump for all I care, but it screams 3-letter agency ops, a psyops to gaslight us, to push us in directions that are confusing, so we're nice and confused before the inauguration day. Think about all this shit in the past, like 20, 30 days alone, from horrible storms to fucking to drones to somebody burnt a woman in a subway. I was like, oh, okay. All of a sudden, the immigration conversation starts up again. It's like, no, there is no conversation for immigration because that has already been talked about. It's already going to go into an effect once January 20th comes in. And there's no need for the conservative side to push its point about the immigration in the first place. They didn't need this event of this immigrant setting a woman on fire in a subway.
That was fucking crazy, bro.
Absolutely, and that's the thing that's the sizzle that sells the steak right there. As far as the info is concerned. It's like, okay, you know what? There's another handed proof. You got those other guys that got arrested for some shit in New York City, and when they got released within 24 hours, they're flipping off the cameras. They're like, "Fuck you, ha ha ha." We're Venezuelan. We get away with shit because we're brown. All that shit.
Yeah, we're gonna just go back home. We're just gonna fucking go back home.
Whether they go back home, and it's a revolving door. And who knows how many people get in trouble because they get sent back home too.
He already got sent back home and came back and was able to do that. So it's wow. He was already sent back. He was already what's the word I'm looking for? Deported. He was deported once before.
And that's the thing too.
Back, and this is what he did with it when he got the fucking opportunity. And he sat there and watch this fucking work.
Well, I tell you what, man. If I don't know, man. If we had a whole lot stricter laws where, like, if somebody broke a particular law, something like that, and they had to forfeit their right to live, we'd have a whole lot less people acting up like that. That's for sure.
That's a fact.
If you were sitting there thinking about doing some crazy shit on a fucking subway, and you're like, oh, you know what? The law might kill me if I try to do this shit. No, I'm deciding no. I don't want to be irritable, but yeah, right. I mean, just let the law speak some common sense. It's like, dude, if you do X, Y, Z, you threaten several people. Something bloody and drastic has taken place because of your actions, and shit, dude. Somebody's life ended. You know what? We need our pound of flesh. I'm sorry. If that was the case, I think a whole lot less laws would be broken. A whole lot less people would be in jail. And not only that, the whole body cam system in the jail, dude. I'm absolutely for it. You know,
Of course,
let me see.
yeah.
That's the thing. You know, let me see the food they eat, the place they got to shit in.
Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
yeah,
Oh,
horrible.
dude.
Yeah, dude.
Oh boy. See now, it's a difference between a jail and prison because in prison, I don't mean to use the word, but you have more freedoms. You can kind of get if you got money. See, it all stems from if you got money. Cause the in the county it's like, oh my fucking goodness. Boy, like if you don't have money in the county, it's like wow. Like on Rikers, if you have no money and you are forced to eat, you might be hungry on some days.
Damn.
Or you might just
I can.
realize what survival it's really like. Like, yo, what's good, bro? You need me to do this for a couple of soups, or let me get a tuna and blah blah blah. Or you better be good at playing cards. Like it's crazy if you ain't got no paper. And
Dude,
I'm looking,
it
wow.
sounds like being processed over at the fucking homeless shelter there in New York City, dude. Um, First they made me put my shit through a metal detector and they put a wand on me and then took my only knife away from me. And I was thinking to myself, man, is this really worth a fucking night in sleep? You know, some sort of safe night of sleep or so. Anyway,
Bruh,
like I did
bending
that.
over and squatting supersedes anything you're about to say. Bending over and squatting in
Word.
front of another man supersedes
Yeah, true.
anything you're
True. I
about
didn't
to
have
say.
to do that. I didn't have to do that at all. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, dude. I did have to. They had a bunch of different color lines, and I had to follow those lines to a room. And then when I got into that room, I wasn't allowed to sleep in that fucking room. And that guy came in every like 5 or 10 minutes just to kick chairs. He's just kicking chairs and waking people up. Just people trying to fucking get processed in the homeless shelter to get into a place so they could sleep. But anyway,
No, I do get
yeah.
that.
Back to the buttholes in
Good,
front
Doc.
of
You had something
grown
to add,
men.
Doc?
No. I'm listening to y'all and agreeing with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's real, man. You sitting there, then they got something that'll be able to tell, like if you got something up your keister. And it's like, wow, you got to sit on this cold ass, what's the name, that like 30 people, 40, 60, 80, who knows how many people been processed before you. This is New York. I don't know about anywhere. I can't speak of anywhere else because I ain't
Hey,
trying to go nowhere no more.
you can't
But
forget
it's
about the
real.
psychopath. You can't forget about the psychopath that wants to shit all over that spot too. You know, you don't know if they cleaned it up.
Oh
Just
my gosh. I ain't even think about that one.
dude.
I didn't even think. And anybody who's been through the system, they can tell you the worst part is processing. You
Yeah.
just hope. And then some people say the worst part is being all right. It's like, man, could y'all just send me to prison already? I heard that so many times. Like,
Oh,
man, I
geez.
just want to go to prison already so I can have a sense of normalcy. And I'm just sitting there like,
What?
and in the words of the woman from
Wow.
South Park, what did you say?
Word.
Like, what the fuck? You just can't. But I understood it because they knew they
Yeah.
weren't going home. They knew they weren't going home. And it's like, why am I sitting on the island when I got way more freedoms? Like I said, quote unquote, you got more freedoms when you go to prison. You can smoke cigarettes. You can do this. You can do that. You got your hot plate. And this is people who gonna have some money. So all you need is a few dollars in prison or in jail. It don't matter. So these people with money or who they got people on the outside that's gonna hold them down, they just want to get their shit started already. Like, forget the island being close to home. Forget all that shit. I don't care about the visits. Just send me where you gonna send me so I can start doing my shit already, man. And that mean they already got their mind geared for prison, basically. And it is what it is with that one. That shit crazy. Anybody who you hear saying that shit, just know they jailed before and they're very, very good at it. And just, if you're gonna be disrespectful, don't disrespect them. Just walk away, man.
Yeah.
Just walk away. I'm trying to tell you this. I'm not one of them that know how to jail. I've never been to prison. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I ain't go past the island, and there's nothing to like brag about enough, and I'm just letting it be known. I'm not, but I would know how to jail, which is kind of fucking pathetic and pitiful. But I adjust the shit quick. Pause. So yeah, man. Before we move on, anybody got any more thoughts on the Marcy inmate death before we move on to this shit that we spoke on it before?
Yeah, more cameras, more exposure, more investigations. Bring this shit to a fucking screeching halt, so we can, start living our lives like normal human beings, man. Like to the point where we can find those common rules, that those golden rules that everybody lives by, that provides food, success, and shelter for everybody, their families, etc. Man, it's just like get that truth out there so people can deal with it, and then because the sooner that the sooner you can come up with a solution. So yeah, man. But aside from that, God rest this kid's soul. And that was horrific. It shouldn't have never happened. It probably isn't the only time it has happened, but we know it happened this time.
Yeah, and I do agree with everything you said with that one. Both of you guys, when you were saying, imagine how many times, basically in a nutshell, how many times it's happened before. It's just this time it was caught on camera. Because I can assume it was a lot of wrongful eliminations, a lot of wrongful deletions in that place, just because of this one, and just because they stuffing things in his mouth, and you beating the man while he's cuffed.
Yeah.
And it's like now, even if he, and it's crazy because even if he did something, it don't matter if he attacked and eliminated another guard. At this point, just hear me out. I ain't saying it's right, but once he is detained and handcuffed, you're not supposed to do anything to him anymore. No matter what he did, now you have to let the government or let the law decide what happens to him now. Not you, not your crew, not your posse.
Yeah.
Once he's been detained, it's over.
That's the thing. Like I said, the population of that small town, Marcy, is only 8,777 people. They could have gone out in the middle of nowhere and did exactly what they did with no cameras whatsoever. But like I said, they didn't give a shit about the cameras. That's the scariest part about this whole fucking thing.
Exactly.
They didn't give a shit about the cameras. They didn't think that it was going to get out. And they thought to themselves, they had to think to themselves that even if it does get out, that there's some way out of it. Like I think honestly, a lot of these fools that are into corruption, they actually believe the films. They actually believe the TV. They believe the script that's written for their entertainment as opposed to something that's actually real. It becomes real when they're inflicting that pain and shit, and they're probably getting off on it. And that's for them. That's that reality. I don't know, man. Sorry, I can go on again.
It's gonna keep happening. It's not the only place, but it's like you said, man. If they actually went through the correctional facilities with a fine-tooth comb and spoke to more than just authority figures, and they spoke to inmates and not just the inmates that might have jobs or might be capitalizing off of their positions there, but ask the low level, ask the guys who ain't ganged up, ask the guys who aren't even violent in there for violent crimes, but what they did was severe enough to get them there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because there's a different class of people. Like I think I ran into one of those dudes you were talking about on the subway, and he's looking around the subway with this fucking disdain. He hated every person around him. He couldn't stand his surroundings. He didn't like it. It was weird, man. I barely looked the guy in the eyes, man. He just seemed like, I don't know, dark. He was dark because he was not where he was supposed to be. It's fucking weird.
Shit, mental health is important. Now, we're gonna move along to the Mandela Effect. We spoke on this before, and you had the Sinbad one, and you got several things. Like, why are they trying to test us to see what the hell we're forgetting or what the hell we know? Like, you got I can give a couple of instances. Like I said, with the Sinbad movie, I forgot the damn name of it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
The
like
Sinbad movie they took. That
Alakazam, Abracadabra, or some shit
yeah,
like that.
Shazam, some shit like that. I think it's called Shazam or Shazam, whatever. You got Shazam. You got the Berenstain Bears or Berenstain Bears. Excuse me. There's so many things that they're testing.
I don't think
Why
it's
are
so
they
much that they're
testing
testing our
the
memory.
history?
No, I don't think there's so much as testing our memory as they are fucking up replicating the old stuff. One of the things I noticed about music, and music industry seems to like regurgitate itself or throw itself up here every once in a while. Like they'll, okay, perfect example. There's a Jefferson Airplane song called "The White Rabbit." It's a pretty popular song, and
Right.
I was listening to soundtracks, and this song was actually used in a promotion for The Matrix, and it was remixed to have like some orchestra in the background, and it sounded pretty heavy and intense and that kind of stuff. They did the same thing with "Painted Black." It's a Rolling Stones song. Um,
I
let's see
think I
here.
know that song.
They did "Ramble On" by Led Zeppelin. Like, and not only do they just take the song and remix it to make it sound, you've got another one they did with Napoleon. The trailers had Ozzy Osbourne's or not Ozzy Osbourne's, but Black Sabbath's War Pigs playing in the background with an orchestra
Right.
playing in the background. And
But it's like, what's the it's just every time we come up, we sit there like, oh, that never existed. It seems
well,
like it's trying to be some type of brainwashing. That's it. That's my whole point.
absolutely, that's what my point is too. That's where I was kind of syncing up with your energy on that. It's a simple fact that the Mandela effect, I think, is intentional. I think they're putting out brands missing certain things or adding certain things to their brands, their
The
logo.
cornucopia. That's what you're
So
talking about, right? The
yeah,
cornucopia.
yeah. The cornucopia, the eyeglass, the monocle, that
Yeah, the monocle.
the
Like, come
Monopoly
on,
guy was
bro. Who
wearing.
y'all talking to?
But I think honestly, I think honestly, companies are doing that on purpose. So we have something to talk about. These are little minute details that we really shouldn't really give a shit about. Now the difference between knowing that Nelson Mandela is alive or Nelson Mandela is dead is a huge skip, which it keeps my mind going as far as the Mandela effect is concerned. Because I think honestly, they're trying to replicate everything. I like take for instance, like anytime that somebody made a good hit in hip hop, they got to get paired up with somebody either a little bit lower or a little bit higher, so they can do a duet or do a track together, so they can promote each other. And it's this whole like incestuous relationship that rap artists have with each other. But at the same time, I mean, it could be conceived that they're just trying to help each other up as they climb. It's kind of a way to look at it too. But at the same time, it's like, wait a second, you're trying to give me the same shit that I was following this dude in the first place, and now you want to put him with somebody else singing the same shit. It's just a different version. And it's like, wait a second, like you're repeating yourself over and over again to the point where I think the creativity, it just goes right out the door. People are riding on their own little reputations when they hook up with each other, and then the commonality is like P Diddy parties, or that's where like I take a look at the whole scheme as far as music is concerned. And especially, and I hate to say it, man, because I like rap, I like gangster rap, I like R&B, but the business is attached to such horrific and awful things that I got to turn my back on it now, man. I got no problems doing that, because I did the same thing to the music that I started listening to way back when. I realized the message that it's trying to distract me with, and I've got things to think about. I've got things like showing up to work on time, getting my shit done right, clocking out with no drama, going home, blah, 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 blah. I don't need to be distracted about what beef this dude's got with another MC, that this, that, and the other thing. I got no time for any of that. I don't even have
You
time
just
for
love the art.
where is the art when the message has been the same for the past 30 or 40 years, especially in gangster rap? Man, gangster rap has not changed in 30 or 40 years. They rap about the same
But
shit.
you can't expect gangster rap to change because they supposed to be gangsters in their rap.
No, but like you said, as far as the creativity is concerned, it's not something that like, take for instance, like we went through the biggest evolution in music during the 90s, if you ask me.
Yeah,
You know,
you right
because
about
before
that.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, before that, you had R&B, you had a little bit of rap, you had country western, you had rock
The
and roll, light
jazz and
rock. Yeah, and basically there were like 5 genres of music that you could listen to, and that was it. But once the 90s hit, you had alternative music, you had house music, techno, you had like alternative music, included all kinds of bands. But the crazy part about it is alternative music was always about sex. It was always about depression, and it was not being satisfied with what you've been blessed with. And like that's where it's kind of weird, because you had like Mary J. Blige and the rest of those guys that were singing these peaceful tunes and a whole 9 yards. Let's all get along. Let's not, let's be loud and fun and the whole 9 yards. And that was just pushed the fuck out of the way by the rap industry. It was just like anything that had to like, well, like where's Tribe Called Quest now, or not Tribe Called Quest, but Tennessee, fucking Arrested Development. Whereas, your like your true hip hop,
guys, the positive guys, the positive rappers and all of that stuff. Of course, they had. If they didn't know how to switch over to what what the people wanted to push in terms of, I'm gonna put quote unquote, the people wanted pushed out into the air. I mean, you either have to adapt or you can just go on tour, and that's what I'm sure they probably
one of the main
just go on
complaints.
tour.
Yeah, but one of the main complaints about rap music, or not rap music, but gangster rap music, and a little bit of rap here and there, was the simple fact that it wouldn't get play on the radio. So in order for you to find rap, you'd have to seek it out. You had to know where to go to get it, whether it be Napster or uTorrent, and these old downloading spots that you get, or you just buy it bootleg off the street or some shit like that.
I'm about to say, yeah, because I don't know about having to do that for gangster rap. We just buy it on the street, and it played in New York. Everything plays in New York.
Yeah.
So I mean, as long as you get the money to make it, or if you're good enough to where it's like, hey, damn, this song is really good, no matter what anyone says. So it's like, yeah, it was different back then, and you had to be talented.
Yeah, but at the same time, man, like how much of an effect on society do you think that you're going to have if you constantly promote violence, bloodshed, money, sex, debauchery, fucking outcunningness, outfoxing your enemies, and the whole 9 yards? Dude, it's a whole psychological trip, when it comes down to it, and it's changed society. You have to admit it.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. Hey Doc, what you got? You still here? Oh, we might have lost Doc.
Well, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I thought my background was making that noise, but your background. But yeah, man. Well, with the music industry, that's not going to change because they don't allow the positive music to come out. We don't control the who comes out, who don't come out. There's a lot of positive music out there that don't be seen by people or don't want to be heard by mainstream. You know what I mean? Mainstream push their own agenda, and that's what we get.
Miss Brenton, what's up?
Hey, Miss Brenton, what's going on?
Miss Brenton, good to see you.
So that's what I feel about the industry with the music. we get what they decide that we want to hear. Like I said with the videos, like who from the hood know about satanic rituals, satanic stones, and
Oh, they were pushing that.
you know what I mean. So they got their own agenda that they push, and we just here to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yo,
but
here's some
why?
funny shit, bro. Your man, Mr. Goodbread, actually did a whole show about music in the 90s and black people and how remember DMX with the blood, um
Yeah.
Big L with the song called Devil's Son, even Cam when he did Confessions. That album was well, some of the songs was like a little like you thought I was Benoodles when I paused when I
But
violated that poodle, but you ain't know I was cool and ate it. It was a little
but
it
but
was a
but
little crazy.
but his stuff, the grave digger stuff, like that's some of the stuff that creative minds could think of while watching movies or watching certain things or even watching certain things in your hood and changing it into predatory animals, you know what I mean, or something of that nature. You
No, I
understand
get
what I'm
what you're
saying?
saying.
So
But it
so
was proven that's what the exec was pushing. They were telling them to rap more about this, rap more about that. Like, no,
That's
this is what was
that's
being
what my
pushed
point
onto
okay,
is.
them.
okay, so I
Yeah,
can
but,
see that
but
too.
wait a second, fellas. My question to you guys is this: once you discover that there's government involvement in the influence of the lyrics, the influence of the 808 bass frequency that was used and is still used to this day to influence, dude, don't get me wrong, fellas. Trust me. DJ Magic Mike was flying in my fucking my buddy's P2200 with two Road Thunder 2s with 1,000 watts pushing it. Man, I mean, it was awesome shit. I remember cruising back in the day. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, man. I had a lot of good times, but the very second that I knew that the government had an involvement in the lyrics, in the sound tones and the beats, uh, and using it to influence me, I stopped listening to it. My question to you, gentlemen, is where is the need to differentiate who is on the take and who's not on the take, or I mean, like, why not just cancel it all out, like alternative, like, dude, if you decide to go and listen to, I'm going to tell you this, what you're expecting is as far as alternative music is concerned. You're either going to get really fucking angry or really depressed or really fucking horny. Period. That's what you can expect out of alternative music. You're either going to be depressed because somebody is crying because they don't understand life, or they're completely angry because they don't know why they're angry. They're just angry. And then it's just like a sex pool. Like, you go to a Nine Inch Nails show, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I had to go to two of them.
No, see, for us, see how you said 9 Inch Nails? See, we wouldn't be listening to 9 Inch Nails. Not everybody. Like, you got people like, we going to take it back to the block. Jay and maybe Mo. They might listen to 9 Inch Nails.
Uh-huh.
But with us, you would have to say like DMX because the way he rap. Like if you heard the song 1-2 X is coming for you, the song is called
Yeah.
X is coming for you.
Yeah, I've
That
heard of
song
all
is
those albums.
fucking
Actually,
damn near demonic.
I was a big X fan. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I love it. I love that whole album.
I've been through mad different phases, like mazes, to find my way, and now I know
Yeah,
that every
even that.
maze on I far away. Now I understand, man. Trust me, I love X. I loved him until I looked at his album cover, and there was blasphemy on the album cover.
Mm-hmm.
He's blaspheming the word of
It
God.
is. It is
Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood.
Mhm.
All
Yeah, the
my
second album. That second
Yeah.
album with him with the blood on him, that definitely,
yeah.
I don't know about
That's
blasphemy.
blasphemy, and that is, but that's blasphemy, and that's evil. Yeah, like it or not, like any of his lyrics, like all of his lyrics, like some of his lyrics, that right there was the display of evil. It was blasphemy, and any God-fearing person will point that out to somebody. But at the same time, it's hidden under this expression. It's my artistic
Yeah,
expression.
artistic
Well,
expression.
I believe. But see, the thing of it is like if you're the devil, you're going to taunt your bullshit and your blasphemy in the public face. And if you want to call it God, there's no rule that says you have to tell the honest truth and say, hey, you know what? Yo, I'm DMX and I'm creating blasphemy on my album cover. You see me covered in blood. It says flesh of my flesh and blood of my blood. Yeah, that's blasphemy. I just thought I'd let you all know that I am evil. No, he's not. He's not. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's gonna come out and he's gonna be like, yeah, Lord. He'll come out with those fucking prayers.
that was a good one though. But no, I see what you're saying. See,
Yeah,
but for me,
he's gonna be like, yo, I'm lying to y'all.
No, it's also like what you said though. For me, if your lyrics are good and you put you could piece the song together well, it really sometimes doesn't even matter what you're talking about. But it just so happens when you sit there and think about certain stuff, you sit there like, wow, you did do a lot of stuff that was like, this, that, and the third. Like some people were really turned off when Nas was on the cross. Remember, Nas put himself on the cross. You can hate me now.
Yeah, but
but sometimes that shock value sells.
Yeah, but there's another thing too, man, where you can actually kind of spin off on that, where some Christian families, when they get into fucking arguments and somebody's playing the victim, somebody will tell somebody else. Like I'll tell my brother is complaining about some shit. I'll be like, you know what? For Christmas next year, I'm gonna get you your own fucking cross, so you can climb up on it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because I'm tired of hearing his bullshit. I'm tired of hearing his complaining and that kind of thing. And it is. It's a blasphemy joke, but at the same time, like I can see Nas alluding to that, where it's like, hey, I am going to crucify myself in the name. Who knows what? I'm not even going to listen to that album now that I know about it. But
it's the third album.
And I'm telling you, I met Nas, man. He's a funny motherfucker, dude. He was talking shit about somebody at this the award ceremony. Who the fuck was it? But I was waiting his table over at Buddha Bar in the Meatpacking District in New York there, and like I said, he's a funny guy in the whole 9 yards. And I mean, it was trying to cheer the guys up. They all seemed like they were down about something. And he's like, "Come on, man! Didn't you see so and so at the award ceremony? He was wearing," and he just started clowning on him. And I started laughing. He says, "Hey, look, even the motherfucker here is the server here, man. He thinks that I'm funny, man. What's wrong with y'all?"
Shit, at the end of the day, they just, regular people. But moving up, because I see that I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking about Doc and his
I'm good. I'm good, bro. I ain't worried about it, bro. I'm good.
All right, I don't want you to say that neither. But but my last thought on it, we're gonna go around the table. I'm just gonna start with myself. The Mandela Effect, I still don't get, like, what is it like? Why are you testing humanity? Because that's what you're testing humanity. Because if we get it in America, anybody with a phone can get it. So it's like, why are you trying to tell us there's no cornucopia? Why are you testing us? Why are you testing us with Sinbad saying there was no Shazam before the superhero came out? Why are you testing us with these things, like the Monopoly man, like you said, with the monocle? Like, we all remember that if we were alive for it. And one thing is, that shit will work in about maybe 30 years. It'll work. You sit there and put out the new shit, it will work, because the old people, all of us will have perished, possibly. So, that's what, 30 years, that makes everybody 75, 80 years old. So if you're lucky, you're still alive, and that shit. And then who's going to listen to an 85-year-old? Man, that's bullshit. It was a monocle on that man. Nobody going to listen to that, man. Man, it used to have the fruit of the loom used to have a cornucopia on it with the fruit inside of it. Ain't nobody. People ain't even gonna know what the fuck a cornucopia is. Like, for real, man. Like, for real.
But I just want to say that I just want to remind everybody that DMX, God rest his soul, would have never told you about his blasphemy on his album. He would have never told you about that. So,
but I think that's why he put prayers on every one of his albums. Think about that shit, Moves. He put prayers. He made sure he set them on tour too.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying cloth, but I do recognize that part.
Yeah, but who's to say who he's calling God and who he's calling Lord? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think he was very
all.
spiritual.
I hope he was. I hope he was. I don't. I really don't think he was. Man. He chose a life of the street and he put it out on the records out there for people to admire him, and for them to kind of idolize their lives towards him. And that's that's not a lifestyle that's conducive to families. It's not a lifestyle that's conducive to jailing systems. Actually, it's really conducive to jailing systems.
But you got to think
You know
about how
what
that
I'm
man
saying?
grew up.
I
That
mean,
man grew up with pain. He grew up
yeah,
in
dude.
pain. His whole life was
Yeah,
pain.
he was like an OG, dude. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I love the motherfucker, man. I love his albums. I listened to them all. Uh, and I memorized a good handful of his music, and not the shit that it was played on the fucking, the Rough Riders anthem and that kind of shit, man.
I got you. You was a
If
fan for real. I get what you're saying. I'm just
yeah,
saying,
I feel bad. I really do. I feel bad that I had to come to that conclusion, but like if I like it or not,
I
like
don't
if I
think X had an outlet, bro. I don't think he had an outlet. His outlet was his music. I just don't think he had an outlet. And this is me using my little, small amount of brain and education. I just don't
true,
think he had an outlet. And
yeah,
combined with him being good at his craft, and then what New York wanted, and he was fresh. He was new with it. I mean, the shit he was talking about, people was like, yo, this dude is bonkers. And then the
yeah,
shit he performing shirtless, he in Harlem with no security. He with the Rough Riders with the bikes. You see the bikes everywhere. Like he became a whole wave. And then what
yeah,
helped, I don't care. For some reason, Reebok came out with a sneaker called DMX. And I think that shit helped too. I think
yeah.
they
I think
helped.
so too.
You
I think
remember
it
them
helped
shits?
you, man.
Hey, Ron, y'all remember them shits?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Hey, it's the thing, but that's what my whole point is. It's like they slip this worship under the guise of like it really is. It's a disguise, an attractive disguise. Like you said, everything you just fucking listed, everything that we consider OG, everything that we consider the toughest, and what was raw, and what was street, what was grimy, and
Right.
the thing of it is like that. Okay, grimy is not good, dude. You have to wash grimy off. You know what I'm saying, man? It's like that's what my point is. It's like, yeah, do you got to stay on edge to survive in a world like that? Fuck yeah, you do. All right, I'm not gonna knock that in any way, shape, or form. You got to know the street in order to live on the street. And trust me, I had my fucking formal education, but when it came down to it, it was like, dude, nothing beat the fucking working stiff. It's just like the Bronx Tale. That's that's what his old man was trying to tell him in a Bronx Tale. That whole fucking movie. And then Colosio asked him, what's better? Would it be better to be loved or than be feared? I don't know if you all remember that, but dude, that was like the life story of Robert De Niro. No. Uh-oh. I think I got disconnected.
No, you still there. You still here. I hear you.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like fucking that way people stop fucking shooting at each other. People stop having these beefs that go on and on.
But you're right. But grimy is not good. But grimy was what people was living, or not even living, but was that's what was around them, man. Some people was living it. You know what I mean? Not to even sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? But it just a lot of stuff was pushed. In my opinion, was pushed within the industry that wasn't our opinion, wasn't our makings and our takings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't agree with that, man, because like fucking, you got the fuck, man, how do I say his name without saying his name? Mr. Tao, okay, on 117, and his mom's. His mom's will put on, a barbecue, once a month, get and cook burgers. She'd go and buy buns, burgers, weenies. And she'd barbecue all day, and anybody walking by needed something to eat. That was like that blew me away. It was like as stingy and as tight as the hood had to be at times. There were other times where it was just kind of blessed and with people like her.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I'm not, taking away anything that I've heard in music, or I'm like, I've heard music only. I had to live that life in order to I don't know, to put a view on it. You know what I'm saying? Like to look from the outside in, because I wasn't born and bred there. But at the same time, it was like, I don't know. It's anyhow, it had its influence. It had like um uh it's had an influence that has cost a lot of lives. It's just I mean, honestly, you know, uh it's a time to stop the beefs. I don't know.
Oh, well, which is facts. And when you look at it, you have to, be there to be able to say that. You know what I mean? You have to go to ground level and be able to, like, and what's crazy. I was watching an ABC special, I think it was. I forgot this lady name, but she's a journalist, a very good journalist that goes out there, and she was broadcasting um these guys selling drugs. You know what I mean? And when she got out there, she was like, and people covering their face, going out to Colombia and showing how Coke is made and how it's being bought into the United States. And she was like, I went out there thinking that these are some bad guys, but then now, hearing their stories, I feel the sympathy of these guys, because all they trying to do is feed their family. You know what I mean? If there's no other means out there for a person to make money or to make some type of living, no, selling drugs or getting inside the streets and doing grimy stuff, that's not the thing to do. But if you got a family of three, and not saying that it's the government problem, or maybe you shouldn't have a family of three, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that family is there, and you got no other choice but to take care of it. And even a family of three. When I say three, is you, the father, the mother, and the child, and you have to feed them. You have to feed yourself to survive. And if you can't get a job because you done got arrested for hopping a turnstile 4 times, and you got open cases, and jobs don't want to see you because of open cases and this, that, and third, you have to resort to something. What can we resort to besides going out there and banging somebody upside the head for at least for some food, more so than money? You know what I mean?
Well, you can get you. As a matter of fact, restaurants don't give a shit what your record is, depending on what kind of restaurant you're going to go to. And like in New York, you got a wide range of restaurants, from the shitty below 1 star to top 5 star restaurants. And as far as food is concerned, you're guaranteed at least one meal a day at that, and that's where you kind of start. But I can honestly tell you, for hours, little tips and tricks, as far as finding that legit dollar, stretching yourself out, being patient for the appointments that you're supposed to have. Like, take for instance,
And how you know that? You know that for being homeless and being on the scramble, or you know that from being in the house and thinking about these things?
no, no, no. What I did was, when I was in California, I was in the middle of like the farmlands, and when I graduated high school, I had pretty much finished up a job lifeguarding. They hired anywhere between 16 and 18-year-old kids, and I'd already had rescued over 250 people, went to the lifeguard Olympics, got my gold medal, and that's kind of where you graduate. You go into either EMT or paramedics. Anyways, some shit happened with my family, and I couldn't go into the EMT school, and I picked up moving furniture, and I got tired of that really quick. For 8 years, around 8 years, 7 or 8 years, I did that on and off, and once my mom remarried and the guy she married could handle the bills and they were getting along and all that kind of shit, I figured, okay, now it's time to move out of this sullen town. This is a small town, kind of like Marcy, a little bit bigger. They were like 30,000 people in the town when I left, and the reason why I left is because I didn't know any farmers. A lot of these farmers had hired immigrants from Mexico and El Salvador. And when I went to go and look around for work, man, I found a construction job that paid me $5 an hour, and I was making $2 and $3 an hour more than the guys that I was working with.
How you get into these locations finding work?
By word of mouth at first, because there was no internet, and you can go and look into the classifieds in the newspaper.
But how you traveling? What's your means of travel?
Either I have my own vehicle, or I arrange something with somebody who has a vehicle. If there are times where I didn't have a vehicle, and there are a lot of times where I did have a vehicle, and either way, nothing was going to get in the way of what could possibly be an opportunity. So what I thought was an opportunity was we're making $5 an hour, pulling up old stucco around finished houses with about 5 Mexicans. But as soon as I got tired of that shit, I was like, okay, my boy was born and bred in the South Bronx. We went to Catholic school together. I gave him a call because he decided to move back to New York, and he hooked me up with a place in 2000 and a job over at Virgin Megastore right there in Times Square. Puerto Rican guy too. I don't know if that counts or fucking, I don't care. Anyway, I moved back to California, and I want to go back to New York because California, my stepdad was acting up, and I'm not the type of guy to be like, what did the cops say when you called them? No, I handle that shit like there was no tomorrow. Anyway, I moved back to New York. Only this time, my buddy had moved to San Francisco, and I still wanted to move back to New York. So throughout my life, I've done this very thing from Las Vegas, New York, and Sacramento. I gave each place a year. So what I would do is I would do my best to go into one of these major cities, and New York was the second time. Go into these major cities and go from the ground up. So, like I said, what I did when I first got into New York was find a restaurant job because, goddamn, I'm always hungry. Sorry, Lord. But anyways, I'm always hungry. And I knew that some restaurants will give you a daily meal. So the more you work, the more you eat. So like that started from there. As far as being patient, like you got to get yourself signed up with like if you're a single mom, WIC, and you got to get yourself signed up with food stamps or like a federal aid and that kind of stuff. And here's what they do. It's fucked up. You go in there, you fill out all the paperwork, right? And they're like, yeah, okay, nice to meet you, boobs. We'll need you back here in a month so we can go and have you sign everything in a whole 9 yards. Well, wait a second, you got an entire month before you get your food stamp card or your any kind of aid. So you got to figure out how to be patient throughout the days that you don't have a place to sleep. Do you have any money? Have you been able to make any money that day? Is there any cash jobs that you can do? Like you can go into a moving company, and if you're there between 6:30 and 8:30 for like 3 days straight, they'll put you on the trucks. And if you ask for a cash job, they'll pay you in cash for that day. So like, yeah, you know what? You can, there are all kinds of legit ways where you can make that dollar stretch out. I know I'm going long-winded, but that's something I really do know a lot about. I did it, like I said, I did that shit in Vegas, did it in New York City, did it in Sacramento. And if you give yourself a year, and you just got this big goal at the end of the year where it's like roof over your head, bills paid, maybe a little extra to self away, but maybe not. You're even though you're inching your way towards that, you haven't achieved that. So long as you're making that fucking that journey towards it and being headstrong about it, you will get it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The numbers don't lie. So, like, another thing too is I didn't hang around other homeless people. Okay, I really didn't. If I had to sleep on the street, I found a spot by my fucking self. I didn't have to feel cozy around other people because, and I tell you what, I'm thankful for it too. Because when I would talk to these people that had little communes and little tents together and shit like that, would find all their shit stolen when they took off to go to the store real quick to buy everybody food or some shit like that. You know, you go to the store and buy everybody some food because you're feeling all kumbaya and shit, and you come back and your shit's gone. I heard too many stories of that. I just pack your own backpack, pack your own fucking blankets and your own fucking toothbrush. You run out, so what? Don't brush your fucking teeth. You know, and like bird baths. All right, if there's a place that'll let you in the fucking bathroom for at least a half an hour, just 20 minutes to a half an hour, you can go in there and do a good bird bath, splash some water on your face, wash up with some soap, put the soap in a Ziploc bag because you know you don't want your bag fucking wet, and you rinse yourself off, get all the important parts, your nuts, your asshole, your armpit, your face, and not in that order. And but you know you fix yourself up, so at least when you walk around and you go to ask about a job, you smell like soap. You know, you're not smelling like you know you just haven't slept in or had slept in 3 days. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, I got the fucking certification. I thought about actually creating a YouTube channel and helping people where they could go look up an instructional video on how to get themselves out of homelessness. And the toughest part was, and one of the main reasons why I have it is the drug addiction. I don't know how to handle that. I never had that when I was homeless. I smoke weed. That's about it. But I have pulled myself up by my bootstraps. Like I said, in Vegas, I worked 3 jobs in Vegas to pay rent. In Sacramento, I worked 1 job to put a roof over my head, but that Sacramento was a failure. So I know I'm not only learning from my successes, but I'm also learning from my failures when I'm talking about this shit. You know, so yeah, I'm no longer in Sacramento. So Sacramento was not a success. Even though, here's the weird shit. Didn't have financial aid or food stamps in New York, but had plenty of financial aid and food stamps in California. And still, it was a failure. It tells you all kinds of shit, man. I mean, like, if you're a due diligent person, you wake up early every morning, and your job is to find a motherfucking job so you can move on in life, then, yeah, you know, that's exactly how those cards have to fall because of it's the fucking politics of California. But anyway, sorry I went on such a rant. Yes, I do know about homelessness. I do. Yeah, there isn't a day I wouldn't take back because of what I learned.
No, that's all good. I've reached a point of inebriation, and it's time for me to
It's time for you to call it. You're gonna call a rap? Is it a rap?
I could leave you guys to. Here's the next topic.
No. I think we're all feeling it, man. Because I'm babbling senselessly about homelessness. I forgot what the schedule was about, and I forgot to bring it up on my fucking computer here. But anyhow, I'll tell you this before I'm gonna disconnect right after this. I'm just gonna tell you, I appreciate y'all. I love you both, man. I thank you so much for being there with me and on 117th. Thank you so much for inviting me back. Here it is. Like,
what about 117?
Oh, about 117. Thank you for being there. You know, like fucking, like being a part of that whole experience. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
definitely fun.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, dude. I know people don't believe me when I tell them I played football in the fucking asphalt in the streets. You know, they don't believe me. They don't believe some of the stories. But then again, a lot of the country stories I told y'all, I don't believe we go through them. But anyhow, like I said, man, it's start off with the new year. Happy New Year to you both. I got to be up early tomorrow for work.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Doc,
happy New Year.
Always good. Always love. Nah, man, it's always good. Always love here, man. Oh, hey, I want everybody to remember that we may be having to dig each other out of the fucking mud because maybe these storms ain't done yet. So be good with each other. Whatever drama and shit that you may have, settle it because, like I said, you may need their help. So God bless everybody. Y'all be good. And this is Move signing off. Peace.
Doc, you got.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, you know what I mean? Just that people just got Happy New Year to everybody. Fuck that. Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for joining for another season of Conspiracy Theory Thursdays. Who's always appreciative of you, Uncle Jackie. You already know. But we out here. Final thoughts. Topic of the day. Some people may think that the man Luigi is a hero. Some people may think that he's, I mean, so we gotta put in perspective what happened and how it happened, and and let the people talk for themselves and we see what comes from it. But we don't condone nobody going out there and deleting anybody in any shape, form, or fashion. So you know what I mean? But some people is tired and out of life, and some people need some mental health to last 2 years. So government need to check that, more research on that, and hopefully people get it noticed. And besides that, next week, you know what I mean?
We'll be back next week. I appreciate Doc and Moves coming through and spending time with Tony Jack with another conspiracy theory. I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. But next week the main topic will probably be is America as a whole getting weaker, and we'll be talking about with Trump in office and after he leaves, is there a potential for a World War III? And it should be fun next week. So y'all have a good night, man. I appreciate everybody who came through. Titi Witi, ¿cómo está? Well, we up out of here, man.
Peace.
Later.
Peace.
Talks like his shit don't stink, but he's cool with people. I knew he's fine. She's Uncle Jackie better. Jackie was alright. Uncle Jackie was excellent. Fucking guineas. Uncle Jackie. Uncle Jackie. Line, everybody get in line. Listen the fuck up. It's going down. Pay attention. Alright? Bitches in the wind, bitches in the wind, the lights in the wind, the sun in the wind, bitches in the wind, bitches in the wind, cross the wall, I'm the motherfucking general, bitches in the wind, bitches in the wind, the lights in the wind, the sun in the wind, bitches in the wind, bitches in the wind, fuck who you are. When I walk through, stop, silence, remain quiet, don't cry, thug. Yo, I think it's time we take a fucking time out to hear what Harlem got to say. What, niggas? Harlem on the vibes. You don't want no problem with us, guys.
With the game, I'm standing out in the crowd. Arms so hard, gotta stack that case out my mouth. Got the beats banging, speakers bumping loud. I'm the king of the game, I'm standing out in the crowd. I'm so hard, gotta stack that cash. Yellow tape wrapped around, I'm making a
right here and
with the game, I'm standing out in the crowd. Arms so hard, gotta stack that case out my
Remix.
banging, speakers bumping loud. I'm the king of the game, I'm standing out in the crowd. I'm so hard, gotta stack the cash. Yellow tape wrapped around, I'm making a splash. My flow so hot, it's burning up the scene. When I step into the room, you know what I mean. Yellow tape, yellow tape, yellow tape, yellow tape. We on fire, we the ones in charge. Ain't no time, turn it up. Let the beat drop low. Yellow tape everywhere, it's our time to show.
is practice. I can show you practice. I can show you how to put $1 million in a mattress. I can show the difference between an icon and a classic. Baby in the major should be rolling in a basket. I'm advanced, and it's a lot of dance. From anywhere, my jewelry jump like Ja Morant. And Kif Tower shorts got me tanning with the babes. You would be a surfer if you ever had this wave. I just switch up my cabana, they throw shade. Matter top 5, the top wives know I'm the fade. And throw them out the loop, I be mute, playing cute, nothing to say to you. Cause when I'm back home, I'm like Kyrie, I won't play with you. This is magic with the fur, Tim Duncan on the spur, Tanya Harton on the skate. This that Kobe number 8, this the kick over the head in the hand of Sue Bird. This boy's superb, all I got is 2 words.
Uncle Jackie, we out this
word.